And we are back. Welcome to day 6's predictions for the Women's World Cup. And after a day where it was very easy to predict all 3 results from this morning, we now move on to a day where it's probably going to be one of the hardest days to predict. Certainly the hardest day of predictions so far. So before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please do remember to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And let's just get into it, because like I say, we have got some very tough fixtures for you today. We start off with Colombia taking on South Korea, and these are 2 sides that are very well balanced. Both sides that are pretty rigid defensively, but also not the best at scoring goals. They're very close in the world rankings. They haven't, I don't think, ever played each other. I couldn't find anything in the head-to-head records to suggest that they've played a match, certainly in a very long while. So you have to look at forms against relative oppositions, and again, their results are very similar. So I really can't split them. I think on paper, South Korea probably are just the favourites, but I just seriously cannot split these sides. Colombia tend to score every single game and also concede every single game. Therefore, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and we shall see. But like I said, that is such a very tough one to call that really could go all 3 ways. Game 2, I'm expecting to be a little bit easier to call. It is New Zealand taking on the Philippines. Obviously, New Zealand winning their opening game in such emotional circumstances, and the Philippines losing to Switzerland in their opener. This is obviously the first day of second round matches. And I expect this one to go the same way as the 2 respective first games. I think after beating the favourites for the group in Norway, New Zealand will definitely be earmarking this fixture as a perfect opportunity for them to potentially secure qualification to the next round, whereas Philippines just have to do everything in their power to get a result. I don't see it happening. I think New Zealand are going to take this one and progress to the next round. I'm going to go for 2-0 to the host nation in that one. The final one sees the winners of the opening game in Switzerland taking on the losers of their opening game in Norway. And as again, we've just discussed, Norway were the pre-tournament favourites for this group. Not necessarily for the entire tournament. I don't think they're even close to being favourites for that. But this is a huge pressure game for them. They simply have to win. Switzerland have to not lose. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic. Again, looking at recent form, Norway's form has just been terrible. They haven't won in any of their last 5 games. They've kind of forgotten what it is to have that winning feeling, whereas Switzerland have been on a great run recently and been picking up wins left, right and centre. So I think it makes it, again, a very tough one to call. Norway should be favourites on paper due to the quality of their team available to them, but I have to look at what's happened in recent times, and in particularly in those 2 opening fixtures, and say that I just don't think Norway have got it in them to get the job done. I was very tempted to go for a Switzerland win. However, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, because I think this is going to be a very open game as Norway do everything in their power to try and win, and Switzerland will then be hitting them on counter-attacks. And like I say, Switzerland are a very high-scoring team themselves. So could be a very interesting day's action. It's going to be a pivotal day's action in this Women's World Cup, especially in that group, as we try and see who potentially could be the first team to qualify for the knockout stages. Those are my thoughts for today. As always, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'll be back tomorrow with day 7's predictions.